Hi, everyone. Welcome to Your Choice this November, our TC&A newsletter. We're looking forward to sharing with you today information and energy about gratitude, inner gratitude, conversational gratitude. And Tess is going to lead us off with what does gratitude really mean to you, Tess? You wrote this month's newsletter, and I know we talk about gratitude all the time and it's internalized for us. But let's start a little bit with what does gratitude mean to you?
hmm Well, I think what's interesting with this newsletter, gratitude got me thinking differently this year. We tend to think of gratitude with all of the external things of grateful for our family, grateful for our relationships, grateful for our clients, and all of that is so true. We are truly grateful for all of the beautiful things in our lives and even the learning curves that come into our lives. And it got me thinking about the internal gratitude of what's going on internally for me to even think externally with my gratitude. And the words of my internal words really shape who I am. And living in that sense of internal gratitude has built a lot of trust in my relationships with family and friends and clients. The internal gratitude of every day waking up with a sense of gratitude and for my life and for my body, my physical being, my mental being, my spiritual being, all of these things that the outside world may not see, but being mindfully aware that there's a lot internally that goes on before anybody knows who I am or is in relationship with me. And that led me to then the conversational gratitude of all of the internal work really manifests itself fuller into the conversations that I have every day with, again, family, you and I in conversations and with our clients. So people often ask, I've been so moved by our conversation today. What is that secret or what is that magic? And I don't know that it's a secret or that it's magic. It's just the internal work that you and I are constantly doing to present our internal being that's external to the clients that we serve, the relationships that we serve, all in conversation. And you and I were at an event over the weekend, and both of us in separate conversations, people were saying, "We always just feel so good when you're around." And again, it comes from this internal work. And one of the things that is helpful for me with the internal work, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this as well, are the questions that I ask myself constantly reflecting internally in conversation when communicating or about my thoughts is, am I staying true to who I truly am? And if I am staying true to who I truly am, which is my purpose and my intent, it truly manifests itself into every single dialogue. And the other question is, just aligning with my actions and behavior, if I'm staying true to who I am, then my actions and behavior are going to reflect that as well. And it reflects into the conversation. So everything is so intertwined, I think, as we're communicating today, the sense of alignment within my inner being, of gratitude, the sense of alignment with relationships and clients and family members and friends, all of that makes an impact in the conversations that we have every day. And so often as we complete certain conversations, it's like, wow, there's just such a sense of gratitude because it went so well.
Yes.
What are your thoughts here in that respect?
Well, gratitude is certainly embodied, I think, through everything that we do. And when I think of the question you asked, is the way I am thinking, staying true to who I am with gratitude, I find myself regularly needing to check in and ask myself if I'm struggling with gratitude, because it does flow very easily, and then there are times that I physically feel that it's blocked and that it
Mhm.
doesn't flow. And so when that happens, I check in with myself in the present moment, and typically there's something that feels frustrating. Frustration is something that,
Mhm.
we all manage, and it's something
Mhm.
that it's a marker for me of when I'm out of alignment with gratitude. And so when I feel that frustration, or a lack of gratitude, I come back to the present moment, typically take some deep breaths if I need to change my scenery or what
Mhm.
I'm doing. Getting outside definitely helps to getting back to that state of gratitude, because so much of my life does feel like it flows in gratitude. And so when it doesn't, I'm really aware of it. And I think that even leads to that second question of how will my actions or behaviors stay true to the outcomes I desire? I can notice and feel physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, if my actions and my behaviors are not aligned with that sense of gratitude. So I don't know that I fully answered those questions exactly, but I think it's important for us to recognize when we're not feeling grateful as well. And how can we get back to feeling grateful? Or how
Yes,
can we move ourselves forward to feeling grateful again?
yes, yes. And I think that ties into the words that we're speaking to ourselves. And I'll just use myself as an example. If I'm externally looking outward to feel that sense of gratitude, and yet I'm comparing myself externally, then my words internally are comparison and it will block my gratitude.
Mhm.
And so if I go into the inner world of my own being, of how can I be the encourager and supporter of myself, if something externally comes my way and I'm struggling with gratitude because it's something I want to experience or something that someone else has, and it would be nice to have, I go back to, yet what can I do? How can I empower myself with my own inner gratitude? That if that's something I really want, I can work towards that. If that's something I really want to experience, I can work towards experiencing that. And that was such a big mind shift for me from in my younger years of always being in this treadmill of comparison, and why does everybody have something that I want and I'm not getting to where I want or what I want to be? And
Mhm.
when I started to flip that script and started just really being grateful for who I am and how I've been created and how I'm learning and how I'm growing, how I'm developing, it was a game changer of looking externally and focusing on how do I need to be internally driven.
Yeah, and I think tying that into the clients that we work with and the organizations and teams on a weekly basis, that there is so much going on externally, and the results are external driven, and the bottom line is external
Yes.
driven. And those are, yes, we need those things in
Mhm.
business to move forward. We're fully in alignment there.
Mhm.
At the same time, if there isn't that attention to the internal gratitude, to the internal awareness, consciousness, being, then
Mhm.
nothing else is really fully sustainable. And I don't know that people really fully grasp that in the workplace.
Well, I think they're always looking to be empowered externally rather empowering themselves internally. And we
For
talk about
sure.
that.
Yeah. Whether it's a
And
promotion or getting anything that they want, really, it is an external focus as opposed to what can you be grateful for that you already have too
yes, yes,
within your own reality.
yes, exactly. And really taking into our mindset that why do I want to give power away, my power away? How can I empower myself? And the empowerment are the words that we choose inwardly. The empowerment is the way that we think about something. The empowerment leads into the conversations that we have every single day. You and I both know that within the leadership coaching process, that this conscious mindfulness of the intentionality of communicating has been so key for our leadership coaching. It's not just about what we say, it's about how people are feeling about themselves at the end of our coaching
Mhm.
conversation. It's the mindset of they came in negatively, or they came in stressed, or they came in angry or frustrated, and at the end they've been able to work through all of those emotions and mindsets to actually feel more empowered with themselves, of who they are, the skills that they have, the genius that they have, the person that they choose to lead themselves as. It makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yesterday I was coaching a client, and he was communicating that until he entered coaching, he never thought of taking time to think about his inner words, to think about his conversations. It was all externally driven. And as a salesperson, everything was external. Satisfy the customer and be there for the customer. Everything was external. And for the first time in his life, he's experienced something to reflect on himself. He didn't even realize he could do better in certain areas. And now he's realized, with the internal work that we were doing together and the coaching we were doing for communication purposes, he has a whole new set of tools and resources that empower himself, but it begins from within.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts here when you're interacting with others as you're coaching, Chelsea? I know that you've got a lot of, and this is what's interesting. Chelsea has a lot of different clients coming to her with different kinds of needs. And what are you finding in your process as you're coaching your clients?
One thing that stands out that's interesting is that just my own gratitude for the kinds of clients that continue to come my way. They often reflect kind of how far I've come, and from being an athlete to being, hotelier to being an entrepreneur. I feel like I have people from every different part of my life coming
Yes,
for guidance and support, and knowing that I've worked through a lot of these things already, and wanting to have that support as well. So I think it starts with me just having gratitude that they trust me to come to me
yeah,
for coaching
yeah,
and guidance, and certainly gratitude is something that we always weave into every conversation that we have, and it really is part of the foundation, the bedrock of everything that we do, and every way that we live as well.
absolutely, absolutely. And the gratitude is within every single dialogue.
Yes.
And we can say things that are direct. We can say things that are reality, that we can give feedback, constructive feedback, and say things to people that they might take offense from someone else, but we can say it because they feel safe in the gratitude of knowing their
Hmm.
relationship that we truly honor and respect and we're grateful for.
Yeah.
And that allows for different opportunities to grow and develop within the coaching context as well. So this starting place of gratitude, the inner way that I'm talking to myself, Chelsea is talking to herself, it flows into every single conversation that we have. And people will always feel valued, appreciated, known, understood. They they know that our intentions with our words are to support them. They know that our actions and our tone of voice is there too to support them. And more importantly, they know that this energy that we bring to every conversation is for them. And that's where we can stay in this sense of gratitude because it's is so empowering and it's life-giving. Even challenging conversations are life-giving because of the gratitude in which we start. So we've given you a lot to think about today. And what I trust you will take away today is the intention to speak kindly to yourself, to give yourself a break, not be so hard on yourself, to be generous with your words to yourself, not in an egotistical way, but in a way that is affirming of who you are. And every day, look for a way to say, I did a good job there. I was truthful, I was honest, I was respectful, or I could have done better there in a certain particular area. I get a new chance tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
We always get a new opportunity. But being mindfully of what's going on inwardly is going to really influence every single conversation.
Yeah.
And we know that to be true. And when we start every conversation with this openness of gratitude, even today, being grateful for the presence to be together and to speak to you, the conversation has meaning. And what I trust you'll take away from the second part is your conversations matter, your starting place matters, how you think about the other person matters. If you're thinking negatively and unappreciatively about someone on the other side of the conversation, it's going to show
Yeah.
and it won't go well.
Yeah.
If you're really giving yourself the opportunity to clear your mindset, be grateful for the conversation you can have, the person, there's always something we can look to be grateful for. You may disagree with that, yet there is always at least a percentage of 1% something we can be grateful for. There is an opportunity to have a much healthier, empowering conversation. We know these things to be true because we practice them every day
Yes.
and
Yes.
we want them for you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I'm grateful for this time together and grateful to be able to spread the energy of gratitude. It's needed, it's always felt, and I'm receiving it as well. So thank you.
And I'm receiving too. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you next month. Bye.